pause this video at any point to rewind and go back over something that might have been confusing. And you can also email me or join our Zoom meeting on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Okay, so we have the expression here, 10 to the fourth divided by 10 to the second. So the rule we're learning for this week says if you have the same base and you're dividing, you keep the base, subtract the exponents. So we have 10 to the fourth here divided by 10 to the second. The base is the same, which is 10, so we're keeping it, and we're going to subtract the exponents, 4 minus 2. And of course, when we do 4 minus 2, we get 2. So our final answer is that same base of 10, but it's to the second power. Now, the expanded form shows you what this actually looks like. It says 10 to the fourth is in the numerator, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tens in the numerator. And it says 10 to the second is in the denominator, so we have 1, 2 tens in the denominator. When we cancel these out, we're left with and of course 5 minus 2 is 3, so we end up with 10 to the third as our answer. And if we do it the expanded form way, we have 10 fives in the numerator, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have 2 tens in the denominator, 1, 2. These 2 tens will cancel out, and we're left with these 3 tens here. That's why we have 10 to the third power as our answer. So you can pause the video now and go over 10 to the sixth divided by 10 to the third to figure out how we ended up with 10 to the third. Okay. Now, when we resume, we're going to now go over the rules from 2 weeks ago, which is the first one, the rule from last week, which is the second one, and then the last two are the rules for this week. So the rule from 2 weeks ago, we learned the product rule. It says when you have the same base, to keep the base, you add the exponents. So in this case, the base is 2, so we're keeping that, and we're adding 2 plus 3. And of course, 2 plus 3 is 5, so our final answer is 2 to the fifth. Another way is the expanded form way. This just says 2 to the second, so I have 2 2's here. This says 2 to the third, so I have 3 2's here, and if I count them, I have 1, 2, 3, 6. So our answer is 2 to the sixth power. Or if we did the expanded form way, it just says take 2 to the third and write that twice. So here's 2 to the third the first time, here's 2 to the third the second time, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2's. So it's 2 to the sixth. And this is the rule we're learning this week. This is the division rule. It just says keep the base when it's the same. So in this case, it's 2. You subtract the exponents, 5 minus 3, and you get 2. So we end up with 2 to the second. If we expand it, we have 5 2's in the numerator, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 3 2's in the denominator, 1, 2, 3. These cancel out, and we're left with 2 2's, which is the same as 2 to the second. So another rule we're learning this week is the zero exponent rule. It says anytime you have a number or a variable with the 0 power, the answer is 1. So here's an example. We have 3 to the second divided by 3 to the second. So we keep the base of 3, we subtract 2 minus 2, we end up with 3 to the 0 power. And like I stated earlier, any number or variable to the 0 power will give you 1. Not 3 to the 1, you just get 1. And the expanded form really explains to you why that happens. So the problem says you have 2 3's in the numerator, and you have 2 in the denominator. You look here, they both will cancel out, so we're left with 1. Or you might see 3 times 3 in the numerator is 9, 3 times 3 in the denominator is 9. if you look at this one here, we have the same base and we're multiplying. So when we're multiplying and we have the same base, we add the exponents. So in the numerator, we keep the base of 2, but then we add the 2 plus the 3 plus the 5, which are the exponents. 2 plus 3 is 5, and 5 plus 5 is 10. So we end up with 2 to the 10th power in the numerator. We look at the denominator, they have the same base. So we keep the base and we add the exponents. 6 plus 1 is 7. So we have 2 to the 10th divided by 2 to the 7. Now we're going to do the rule from this week. When we're dividing, they have the same base. You keep the 2 and we subtract the exponents. 10 minus 7 gives us 3. So that's how we end up with 2 to the 3rd. The expanded form is just telling us we have 10 2's in the numerator and we have 7 2's in the denominator. These will all cancel out except for the last 3. And of course, another way to say that is 2 to the 3rd. In our last expression here, we have the power to power rule in the numerator and in the denominator. So the power to power rule says you have the powers next to each other, you multiply. So we have 2 to the 5 times 2, and of course 5 times 2 is 10. And then we have 2 to the 3 times 2 in the denominator, and 3 times 2 is 6. So you have 2 to the 10 divided by 2 to the 6. We keep the base, which is 2, and we subtract the exponents. 10 minus 6 gives us 4. So our final answer is 2 to the 4th power. And if you wanted to do the expanded form way, you list 10 2's in the numerator, 6 2's in the denominator. They will cancel out except for the last 4. And another way to write 4 2's is 2 to the 4th power. So hopefully you understand the video. If there was something you didn't understand, you can rewind or you can send me an email, or like I said, join our Zoom meeting on Tuesday and Thursday of this week. Thank you.